Yeah, Richard, I know you have something to share.
I I don't know if I have anything to share, but uh, why don't you share with us?
Okay.
Maybe you can give us a roadmap on how, like roadmap and pointers of what to share.
I'm not really
Anything.
certified per se, but I've actually attempted the certification course. I think in back in 2020, I was on Pluralsight via this guards. Don't know if you know about guards, you hear of guards. Oh god, I'm losing network. Why? Losing network.
I think those are the things that we really need to know more,
Okay.
right? Because uh, there's a difference when you're actually okay. mm, Well, let me just start. Let me just share my like personally, right? It is more like okay. So personally, I'm just kind of curious person, right? So I have a background in petroleum engineering, but decided to I wasn't really okay with the streamlined nature of petroleum engineering, and I figured out that I could be more in tech, right?
Okay.
And because I could, from my analysis, right, you can be anything you want to be in tech if you're curious enough, if you're hardworking enough. You don't need to really like know someone. What do I mean by know someone? Like there are some industry that you need to know the you, like the people who have the connections. But in tech, you just need to know something and make some noise about it. Like I mean positive noise. Like try to build a portfolio and those things. Share them, right? Share your work. Not you don't have to necessarily be perfect, but just share your work and keep your due diligence and keep doing what you're doing. You know. So that for me creates that excitement that I can be what I want to be. So I I took that as an encouragement to deviate from the petroleum industry into tech. And for like I can say for 85% of the time, if not 100% of the time, I'm of self thoughts because when you, in tech industry, in tech and because there are a lot of things that might look so strange to you. Mentioned, but normal, right? Somebody was talking about Python. Yeah, it can be frustrating when you don't have that people like the same people doing the same thing with you. That's where you have to create resolve, right? You have to create a resolve because you need to ask yourself consistently, why did I start this? What am I going to achieve when I get this? What do I become? It's more about the becoming, the process that you pass through to actually achieve this key that matters more. Take for instance, if you just open let's say you just take a course and it wasn't difficult, you just learned everything, you wouldn't really get that value. But the persistence, the courage keep going despite the hurdles and
Yeah.
challenges, you keep going.
Roadblocks
Those
and
are the things that
challenges.
actually
Yeah.
defines you, gets you. So it builds up your person, whereby if you are maybe you've gotten to maybe you've certifications and you've worked on open source projects and all of that, and you start doling out your applications and you keep getting you're not perturbed anymore because you understand what you've become over the time. So you just know that all you need is just one yes and everything with you. Very personally exciting journey, right? It's a learning journey, but an exciting journey because you look at it It's more about transformation you achieve when you you commit yourself. Okay, I'm going to consistently work on myself, because the more I work on myself, the more valuable I become. So we live in a space that is defined by value, right? So you just cannot stop adding value to yourself, and that's what tech does for you. Everything you learn is an addition to who you are, your personality, your how much you can contribute, right? So there's more to say, but so I think I'll just stop here.
Okay. Okay, nice, nice, nice. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for contributing and thank you so much for sharing. You actually giving us an insight of what it is to, you know, to actually pick up a career path and work towards it. Neglecting the fact that there'll be roadblocks. Definitely, there'll be roadblocks, but what there'll be roadblocks, but what keeps you going is actually when you have people around you doing the same thing you're doing and you know work together in as a team. We probably just build a project or maybe a side project. Maybe it could not be small size projects, but it's worthwhile when you actually seeing someone and the person is doing the same thing you're doing, and both of you or your team you're accountable for each
Mm.
other, and you know so that's why we are here. That's the essence of community. So thank you so much, Richard, for sharing, and that's very insightful. Now,
Yeah. So
yeah, I want to say
so
something.
this actually happened to me too. Yeah, I remember what inside when when like what call it, I didn't even know if there was anywhere sorry. So I think that
Richard, you're breaking. You're
program.
breaking.
Oh, I'm breaking.
Yeah.
I'm breaking. Am I clear now?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. So I
Yeah.
personally, it's actually like like most of the time I didn't know what I was doing, but I knew I was going to learn something. Yeah,
Okay, Richard, you're breaking, and I think you might need to exit and come back in again.
okay.
Yeah, sure. So, while we wait for the facilitators to join us, okay, any moment will be joining us, and don't forget to tweet about it if you have to, and use the hashtag prep with gdg. Okay, prep with gdg. Okay, I think I'll have to put that on the screen for you guys to see. All right, Mr. Douglas, you're welcome.
Yeah, good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Everyone has turned cold
Good evening.
suddenly.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Douglas.
All right, welcome, Mr. Derry. Yeah, welcome, Mr. Derry.
Hi guys, good evening everyone.
Yeah, good evening.
I don't know if you guys can hear me clearly.
Yeah, we can hear
Yeah, I
you.
can hear you.
We can hear you clearly.
Yeah, can hear you.
All right.
But it seems like you're quite distant away from your microphone. So please feel free to type in this chat session if you're not okay, or if you're not, or if you know you cannot really speak, or just feel free to use the chat session, drop a message.
At Edmond.
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. So can we kick off, or are we giving 5 minutes of silence?
Yeah, you can just no,
Giving five
you can
five
just go
minutes of
ahead.
silence, or
No, no,
are we kicking off?
no, we don't really need that. We've actually we've been chatting a lot, and you know, we've been talking about a lot of things concerning, tech journey, and just you're just chit chatting about everything. So you can just go ahead with your session.
All right. Hello, Mr. Derry. Is it
Yeah,
Derry?
I'm okay.
Hey, you quiet. Person go see you now. Go be say you be innocent boy.
Yes, God.
All right. So good evening, everyone. Sorry, we actually joined late. Couple of stuff. That's why we couldn't actually join earlier. So please accept our deep apologies. We'll try and keep up to 8 o'clock. So for this particular tech journey, let me see. What we have in mind, let me see slideshow. All right. So what I have in mind for today was quite different because because of some few challenges, and Edmond, uh, one of our good facilitators, has been pushing it forward so we can actually have access to some practical labs. So before the end of next week, should be before the end of next week, all right?
Yeah, from now till next week.
Okay. So from now till next week, he is working effortlessly, so we can actually have access to to some of these Google Cloud services. So we can actually be doing practical because one purpose of this study jam is for us to have practical experience, and also is for us to know what we are actually doing. So one thing is reading the book, teaching you what you need to know, memorizing it. Another thing is actually doing it, doing what you know, like practical. So from time to time, there'll be some there'll be there'll be tax on the ways. So there'll be different projects we'll have to complete. So I think let me just go through let me just go through what we have today. So we'll look at certificate journey overview, spotlight on associate cloud engineer, sneak peek of study group topics, then certification prep tips and tricks, sample questions and review, then look at what's next. So now the certification learning journey. So the purpose of sometimes if you're going through a particular certification, it's best you go through a study group. Now, what's the purpose of the study group? Um, I believe some of us had group study when we were in secondary school or we were in university. So they're like set of people, like you have like number of people together in a group, then you study, then each person picks a particular topics and he explains better. So with that, you are able to cover a wide area of topic within a short period of time. And also, since every person in the group is actually a leader, it takes everyone actually takes the responsibility of actually studying better because he or she has to do a presentation each time the study groups meet. However, the benefit of this particular study group is you have your group members and also you still have the facilitators. So when you have issues and you can't resolve it as a group, then you can refer to your facilitators. You can meet Derry, you can meet me, or you can meet Edmond, and you can ask certain questions that are quite complex that you can't resolve within your group. Then we still have on-demand resources. So because Google is very generous, they decided to give us a couple of their resources. And as of last week, myself and Derry were chatting about Kubernetes, and these are like available resources Google actually going to provide. And there are other resources like your servers, your containers, and the rest of them. So they are serverless. They are serverless also. Serverless functionality also Google is going to provide to us. However, we are going to take each one of them one at a time. So we think of how we're going to integrate servers and the rest of them. Then we can also work hand in hand into containers. However, we are still here to help you, and we are still here to guide you. Then we have community support. So like the study group earlier, where you have group of people. However, this particular community support is actually a broader view because outside your group members, you still have other subgroups. Like you have like 2 to 3 subgroups, or you have a lot of subgroups also. So as I thought of last week also, Edmond, was it a Google developers group at Calabar? You showed us the video.
Yes, yes, that's
Yeah,
correct.
yeah. So we looked at a video from Google developers group at Calabar, and we found that there are a couple of stuff we can actually learn from them. So if we want anything from them, we can actually chat them up and say, I'm from, my name is Douglas Ejiro, I'm from Worry, and I'm currently in Google Developers Group Worry. What can I do? What can I do? We can actually chat other fellow experts out in various groups. Then, all right. So for your certification journey, the Lodari,
Yeah.
So you maybe you go break these ones them down and be make I
Yeah, I have another slide that I want to go through. So probably anyway, if you can wish, I'll.
okay. So for the certification journey, there's infrastructure modelization. We have the hybrid and multi-cloud. We have application modelization, security, AI, and smart analytics. So each of these parts they have what they call badges, and these badges is more of like the score points they give to you and tell you, okay, you are actually proficient in this area after certain questions they might have asked you, and you've passed those questions. Now, mind you, before they ask you those questions, they are going to actually give you some documentation for you to read first, for you to master, and for you to do some for you to do some practical aspects of those questions. So that's where the Google resources actually comes in. So for example, if you're going to be for the infrastructure modelization, everything relating to infrastructure modelization, like create and manage cloud resources, build a website in Google Cloud, deploy and manage cloud environments. So these are more of like infrastructure related. So since they are infrastructure related, first thing you do is you try and create and manage resources. So what resources are you going to be creating? Those ones are going to be practical inclined, because since you'll be creating the resources, you know how to create the resources. Since you'll be looking how to manage the resources, how I'm going to allocate certain resources, is it CPU usage or some CPU usage and the rest of them. Probably if the resource you're looking at is more of like, okay, we are going to be looking at a particular region to allocate that particular resources, or you want to look at Asia, you want to look at Africa, you want to look at Europe, how you're going to manage that resources. That is going to be under infrastructure modelization also. Then you'll look at monitoring and log. So what are you going to use to monitor this, to monitor your resources? If something goes wrong, how are you going to monitor it? How are you going to get a report? Or is there a report alert for all your resources? So all these are under the infrastructure modelization, and when you cross a certain stage, you're going to earn like certain amounts of badges for all these parts and spotlights. All right. Cloud associate cloud engineer. Dari, you take the associate cloud engineering, right?
Yes,
Okay.
I'll also try and break down some other things from there.
Okay, no problem. So
Okay. I think I can share my screen. So
okay, I should stop sharing, right?
hello.
Yeah, I said I can stop sharing, right? So that you can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me pick it up. Uh, guys, good
All right.
evening.
Yeah,
I
good evening.
am Barry. Um, I believe some of us have already known me, but for those of us that are coming for the first time,
Sorry, Derek. Good
it was
evening.
me.
You're not clear. You're not clear. Sorry.
Okay. You have to do my mind. Okay.
Yeah, I think it has to do
How about
with your
now?
microphone.
Yeah, I'm not really hearing you very well. Sorry.
Oh, okay, I guess I was happy.
Oh, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, it's loud
Yes.
and clear. It's better.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
very well.
much better.
Yes. Thank you.
It's- I think it's my headset, so the mic was so like misbehaving.
Yeah,
So
okay,
just
it's
give me
fine.
a
Fine. Just shoot your
second.
shot.
It's fine now. It's fine now.
Okay. So can you guys see my screen clearly?
Yes, I see it clearly. Getting started with
Yeah,
Google Cloud Association. Yeah, yeah.
it's clear.
Yeah. Sorry for the technical issues. It happens from time to time.
Okay.
So we want to talk about getting started with Google Cloud Associate Engineering certification. So we passed a survey to you guys and some other guys around, and we got to discover that the most in demand certification that is actually needed by most of you guys is the Google Cloud Associate Engineering certificate. So we want to dive a little bit into it this evening, and then from the continuation of what my colleague has said, I also want to sort of like emphasize on some things that we are going to be doing, and some things that are not really necessary. So about me again, I'm a cloud solution architect. It's what I do. Before coming to the cloud, I've been a full stack developer for Distinct AI, and I've also gained a couple of certifications when it comes to the cloud. So then, what are we going to be expecting before this talk comes on? And one thing is that I don't really have a clear vision of talking, but I will just try my best and do everything possible for us to sort of like move on quickly um, with this presentation. So basically, we want to understand what it means to be certified. We are going to be focusing on the Cloud Associate certification. And then by the end of the talk, also, we should be able to understand what cloud computing is, the certifications involved, and then the what is needed for us to start pursuing such certifications, as well as some best practices when it comes to working in the cloud. So I sort of like made this I sort of like made this presentation for basically members of the community. We also took a survey and understand the situation of of the community in terms of working class and those who are studying. So this presentation is actually for everybody, and I think rolling. So what is cloud computing? From the previous talk that we had, we got to understand that cloud computing is a delivery of computing services. So basically this tech giant like Google, they have a lot of computers that are situated in data centers around the world for users or for businesses to rent, and then to host their applications so that their applications will always be live. So the major reason why this um, tech giants are making all these things available is to prevent downtime, like a situation where the business is no longer available. And of course, it's a very big business now in this modern times. We have big companies like Netflix that are currently running and doing everything in the cloud. Countless number of companies in the US, all their resources is being hosted in the cloud. But since we are going to be talking about the certification, most things that are going to be the exam is going to be focusing on is to check whether you actually know what you are doing or not before you be awarded the certification. That is why we get to sit at the exams. So I mean, this slide presentation can be something like a boilerplate for you, but we are going to be looking at some major tools and services that are available for us on the Google Cloud platform. So we have compute. These are like machines. Machine. When I say machine, I mean fully fledged computers that are working, that have been made available. We also have app engine that we can simply pick up our code with our PHP code or in Node.js code and then put it in it and it begins to run. We have databases for these organizations that are working with large amount of data, like those in the financial sector, and they do not want to risk losing any of their data. They easily can grab a database there, and I mean that's what most of the big guys are doing in Lagos today as well. We also have networking. We are going to be going deep dive into each of these concepts, both networking and artificial intelligence, that are available for building intelligent application by Google. And trust me, there are a whole lot of fun stuff for you to explore when you start working on the cloud. So what is Google Cloud Associate Engineer certification? What actually is this certificate about? The major aim of this certificate is to check your proficiency, whether you are able to design things on the cloud, or you are able to deploy things on the cloud, or you are able to manage applications that have been deployed on the cloud. So this certificate is meant for you to prove yourself that you can actually do these things. And of course, it doesn't just come as an exam. It comes as a way of preparation and a way of learning these things real hands, and then getting to see yourself actually deploying applications that people have coded and making it live on different resources that Google has provided. So this is a globally recognized certificate. It is not as if it's something that you can only use to apply for jobs only in Nigeria. No, this certification are things that are globally accepted. A certified cloud associate engineer in Nigeria has the same level of proficiency as a certified associate engineer in the US. So it's the same, and it is highly globally recognized. And having one in your portfolio, man, is already setting you apart. So then, I mean, it is important to be checked, right? And be given certification where we have these certifications. So mind you, we are going to be sort of like coming up with some resources that we deem fit that are going to be useful for you guys. And we are also going to be having recurring meetings where we are going to be coming live and start deploying stuff and then sending out assignments, and you guys also getting to have your own hands-on experience while you are waiting to take the examination and the certification. So, but then one of the benefits is that you are showing the companies that you are able to demonstrate your expertise when it comes to Google Cloud technologies. So you have validated your skills. You have provide access to exclusive. You'll be provided access to exclusive GCP resources. Like I said, we are going to be sharing resources. We are going to be compiling resources before we share them to make sure that everything is in line with what you guys are searching for. Google Cloud platform offers a wide range of services, uh, and these tools that enables you to run and businesses online reliably and scalably. So, to prepare for this exam is an important and solid. You need a very important and solid understanding of these tools. Trust me, there are a lot of tools in Google platform. We are going to be working through them. We're going to be working through some of them towards the end of the slides. And knowing these tools and then working with these tools is actually what is going to make you a certified a cloud engineer. So it is not about assuming that you've known them and also reading about them or watching videos about them that will actually make you know them. It is actually using them in real hands. That is what is actually going to make you know these things. Like I said, some of the tools include some of the tools are compute engine. A compute engine is a fully fledged um, uh, virtual machine that has been hosted there, and a app engine is much more a simpler version that you don't need to do any configurations. You just need to bring your app and then put it in there, and then your app is running. We also have Kubernetes engine, cloud storage, and SQL. I know these are sort of like new ways and all, but immediately we start our hands-on, start breaking these things down into pieces. You will be able to see the real life practical use of these resources and tools that Google has provided. Mind you, a lot of companies are using these tools. A lot of business are running behind these tools. So those businesses will appreciate people who have already gotten a full-fledged experience in using these tools before they can actually think of employing them or not. So we are currently trying to have access to our labs, according to what my colleague said. If not, we should have been looking towards gaining some practical experience in deploying some tools in, in Google Cloud platforms. But I mean, along the way, that is something that we are going to be doing. The hands-on experience, trust me, is the major learning curve. It's not about the resources that you are going to be ready. So we are going to be having access to some resources where they are going to be giving us all resources that we can use and practice, and then we are going to be deploying some applications live over here, and we're going to see them. We're going to use them as time goes on. But right now, I just want you guys to put it behind your mind that getting hands-on is the most important stuff. So we are going to walk through the process of getting a Google Cloud. Getting a Google Cloud account is very straightforward. As long as you have a Gmail, then that's it, because it's Google that is controlling everything. So these are the list of demonstrations that we are going to be looking at. Um, Probably during our study jam, we are going to be deploying a blog application with App Engine. We are going to be deploying a series of microservices applications. I believe my colleague is also going to be doing some things related to deployments on Kubernetes, or probably any of the services that he's going to be working with you guys with. We are going to be looking at cloud storages, how we can save videos and pictures and everything online. So we are waiting for our labs before we actually start looking at breaking down these things. So when we started working with the cloud, we are going to be we are going to be considering some things that are very necessary for us to do. They often call them best practices. You don't just come to the cloud and then you just deploy a computer like that anyhow that you want to that you just want to deploy. There are some bad guys out there, and of course we want to deploy something that can be used over the years. We are also going to be we are going to be considering security, performance, and then most importantly, cost optimizations. So these resources, they are being paid for. You are going to be putting your card immediately you open a Google Cloud account. So that even if your card is not verified, you are not going to be having a fully fledged account. I mean, if it was that easy, everybody's going to have an account. So you're going to be putting your card, and then for every single compute system that you're going to be using, you're going to be paid for. Although most of these resources are very cheap, and you can actually use almost all of them without being paying for them, because they are pay as you go. That's the model of payment. So if 100 people are viewing your are using the resources, you're going to be paying for 100 people. If one person is viewing the resources, is using the resources, you're going to be paying for one person. So at the end of the day, you might end up not even paying anything at all. But you still need to get verified. So in conclusion, um The world of cloud computing is constantly evolving, and there's always going to be new things to learn. So the earlier we embrace the journey now, um, the better for us. I remember when I started the cloud, started deploying some things on the cloud, and I mean you get very very curious of how the cloud is, especially when you can be able to do very big things within a short period of time, and the possibilities are endless. Let me check. Let me share my screen on. Let me share it another tab. Just give me a sec. I didn't really. So this is the platform in view, and you can see here that the top product that they have is they have compute engine, um, cloud storage, and if we want to check at some things that have been pinned, we can see how compute engines are used. Like I said, compute engine are full-fledged virtual machines computer that have been hosted. We also have some things related to Kubernetes, BigQuery. We are going to be breaking these things down, and we are going to be working with each each and every one of them while we are preparing for the certification. But right now we don't have a lab yet. So when our lab is up, we are going to be very active, and me personally, I like hands-on. I'm a person who works very, very fast. So I would really like if the people that I'm going to be working with, like you're always active, and we are seeing ourselves deploying these applications straight up, and then we are destroying them. So we can actually have the hands-on. Oh, give me a second again. I'm switching between screens. Okay. Okay. So do we have any questions so far? I don't know. I knew I was a little bit fast, and
Okay.
yeah, Martins.
Okay. So my question is, most of these terminologies I'm hearing, they are okay. They are quite complex to me as a newbie. So my question is there any chance for do I need to have any basic knowledge? Because most of these things you are saying, I don't, I don't really understand it. So are you going to like be taking from scratch
Okay, so
or
actually, this certification is for a person who doesn't have any knowledge of the cloud before. So there is just like, see, we are going to be doing it from A, B, C, the beginning, of everything.
thank
So
you.
we are going to break everything down into Pidgin English. When we start working out,
Thank
yeah, we're going to break everything down into Pidgin English,
okay.
and then we're going to really understand them. Like I know that the terminologies at first are going to be like, but at the end of the day,
You
when you have
understand?
seen, when I've told you about virtual machines and you have used it, there's no way you can actually not identify it anywhere.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. But the you will be open for us anytime, right?
Yes, that is
Like
what we have a community. We have a Slack community. If you're not in the community, you should be there. Once you guys
okay,
are
I'm in.
dropping, once you guys are dropping your questions over there, the facilitators there are picking it up and making sure that you're not blocked while doing
Okay.
any of them.
Thank you so much. Okay.
Okay, William.
Okay, sorry. I think
Okay, good evening.
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, William, go ahead.
Okay, good evening. Yeah, okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good evening.
My question goes like this. I want to ask this certificate, like, does it have like a duration or like does it expire or should I use the word expire?
Um,
Okay.
most times we see cases where your certificate might expire after 3 years. I think it's between 2 to 3 years. Then you need to sort of like renew it. So the reason why I'm looking at it that that is happening is because you see in the tech world, every day new things are being added, a lot of things are being updated, right? So
Yeah, that's true.
it will make sense that you are always updated. I mean, um, the resources that Google have created this year, they didn't have them last year. You understand?
Okay.
So if you are certified for this year, after 2 3 years, it will make sense for you to sort of like go into the platform again and know, update yourself and then update your certification. That is a very nice
Okay.
question, William.
So okay, for each renewal of this certification, does it require us writing an exam again, or it just you?
Obviously, before you, but I'm not really clear about that because my certificate is not up to 3 years yet. My own is still very much fresh
Okay.
in book. But
Okay.
I'm sure that
Okay.
before you get a certificate, you are obviously going to write an exam. Nobody just come and give you a certificate like that for free.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay. Thank you very much.
All right.
Okay, yeah.
Chine,
Chine Chirim, I can see your hand up.
yeah,
Okay, good evening, Mr. Derry.
women.
Sorry, I wanted to ask a question concerning. You said that we have to get a lab for the practicals and other things. So I wanted to know in the practicals, is it going to be during the weekends or the working days?
The obviously is going to be during the weekends because personally, I
Okay,
during the working days, I'm usually occupied. My colleague as well,
okay,
we are occupied. So during the weekend is when we are going to do, but we are going to be shifting it sometimes Saturdays, sometimes Sundays, depending on when we are much
okay,
more
no
needed with
problem.
it.
Okay, sir.
Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, okay, Richard, you're up
and
next.
Richard.
Okay, good evening, Terry. Thank you so much for your presentation. I would like to know the cloud architect, right? Google Cloud Architect. Does it depend on the associates? Like, do you need to have the associate as a prerequisite for you to get the cloud architect?
Yes, yes, yes. A cloud architect certification is a professional certification. So before you can get any professional certification, you must get one of the associate certifications. And the first associate certification that you are going to be looking at is this particular associate data cloud engineer. So this
Okay.
the use of this certification is also to introduce you to the cloud, show you all the resources that are there in the cloud. But then when you start working on the cloud, that is when you are going to choose what you are going to be focusing on, like either machine learning or other people who are going to be interested in blockchain or health tech like that. But this one is just like let's say in the one that you are doing 17 courses. uh
Thank you.
I don't know if I've answered your question.
Yeah, you have. So it's basically the same thing across different platforms as well.
Yeah, yeah. I think William is raising his hand.
Yeah, William, your hand is up. You have a
Yeah.
question.
Sorry. I want to ask, like this the requires you a pay like how do I put it now? You must have a basic knowledge about the cloud computing before you have the certificate, or you can like someone a newbie now can have it if he goes
So
go through the exam or stuff.
this particular certificate is for newbies and to welcome them to the cloud. So before you even think of writing the exam, like I said, we are going to be having a code jam to for everybody to study and get hands-on experience. So before you think of writing the exam, you must have gotten your own personal hands-on experience on the things that we are going to be studying in the code jam, and even your own
Okay.
personal researches as well, deploying applications. I'm going to be bringing demo applications that people have coded that are there available open source applications, and then we are going to be bringing them live, and we can be able to access them through links or domain. So those are
Okay.
some of the things that we're going to be doing.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay, Chine. You're up next. I can see your hand up. Yeah, Chine Chirim. Your hand is up.
No, I already asked. Yes, I already asked my question, sir. I already
Oh,
asked.
okay, okay. It's your hand.
Okay. I think we can move forward then.
Yeah. So let me just add one of that.
Uh,
Jerry, can I share?
yeah.
So alongside what there is
Sorry,
shown,
Chino, can you please mute yourself? Yeah.
so alongside what there is showed, we'll also be dealing with the billing. So as from next week, what will start it is the billing first, because we like money and we no go want to make our money just disappear from our accounts. And sometimes when we're trying to plug in our credit card accounts to certain things, we want to be mindful of where we're plugging it in and why it's actually charging us. So some of the stuff we'll cover is this particular billing page. So for the billing, we'll look at how we're going to manage the billing account. And here we can, I don't have any active here because Nigeria, I don't know if it happens for our country. We don't know where we they go. So currently now they reject Nigeria accounts. They reject Nigeria credit accounts. But Dari actually told me a workaround on how to do that. So if you're having issues relating to some of these cloud provider, Dari, she been at domiciliary account you got open.
Yeah, but we are thinking that probably the lab session can give us access to as an opportunity to just work instead of
Yeah,
we getting to put in our own cards and all.
and the rest of them because I believe some of them might want to like deploy their personal application also outside this lab stuff.
Yeah,
So
that's when they will not put in their card and know how to manage it by
their card,
themselves.
yeah. So you want to manage it by yourself. So should in case you want to deploy your own personal application also, Dari is here and here, and the facilitators are also here. So the purpose of me bringing up this billing is for us to be conscious of what we are actually going to be deploying. So, like what Dari actually spoke about, um, he talked about deploying it the right way, because there might be some cases where you might be allocating a lot of server resources that you don't need. Probably you might be allocating 16 gig RAM for your server, and you are just running hello world code on your server. It makes no sense, but it makes no sense, but it's it's actually what's common with stuff relating to the cloud services. So, for instance, you might come to these compute engines and you might decide to spin up I think there is supposed to be a machine learning stuff here. So you might decide to spin up probably a Kubernetes cluster just to solve a basic problem, which your Docker can do, or probably lesser servers can do. So the billing we enable us to allocate proper server resources, and also give us guidelines on what to do. So that's what will it's part of what we'll be covering next week. So I think that's all from my end. That's just what I just wanted to add, the billing aspect of it.
Okay, yeah. Before you go, I think I can see Richard's his hands raised. I think he has a question. Yeah, Richard, you have the mic.
Okay. Oh, so sorry. About the billing actually, I think there's a 90 days like grace period that Google gives like for 300
Dollar.
dollars. Yes, that you can use. Like if we can use that for the lab, I don't know if that would be sufficient enough. And maybe when you finish deploying whatever you're deploying, you can just clear off, like do housekeeping, um, delete the resources instead of having them when you're not using them. I think that for me, I think that can suffice for this week.
Yeah.
Um,
So what happens is that let me chip in there. So what happens is that when you open an account, your account will first need to be verified. So the process of the verification is where they ask you to pay your card. But if we are going to be working with our labs, we won't necessarily be passing through that because we are going to be having access from Google
Mm,
directly.
mm.
So that will enable us to learn. But after we have learned enough and we are sort of like we are certified, we have gotten a full understanding of how the ins and outs work. That's when we now think of setting up accounts for ourselves or for clients.
Okay, so the lab is really accessible by you guys or by us also?
When we have the labs, that's when we are going to be able to answer that question. But I'm sure that everybody should sort of like have access.
Okay, okay, that'll be fine. Thank you.
All right, guys. Any other thing while I drop the mic on the
Okay, I
mail?
think Oname has a question. Yeah, Oname, you can go ahead.
Good evening, everyone.
Sure.
Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good evening.
Good
yeah,
evening, Onome. Good
Good
evening.
evening.
All right. My question is, can we create an account now on the Google Cloud platform? Has it started?
For now we are waiting for the we don't want to go in the haste of creating an account yet. So when the time has come out and we've seen that okay, we actually need an account, we'll pass it on. But creating an account is very straightforward. It is verifying the account that is when you will need to put your card. So I think you already have an account because you have a Gmail. It is pretty much
Yes.
straightforward. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, but I haven't created a developer's profile because that's what he required before.
Yeah. When we'll pass it on when the time comes.
All right. Thank you.
In absence of any other question, I drop my mic. Oh, Ikeshiku.
Kichukui. Yeah, you can go ahead.
Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good
Good
evening.
evening.
Good evening.
Um,
Good evening.
as a newbie in tech, I'm into web development, and there is a roadmap. Like you start with studying HTML, CSS, JavaScript, then React, and I think once you're done with React, you can start applying for jobs. For the cloud computing, I don't really have an idea of a roadmap. If we've gotten this certificate, is it sufficient enough to start applying for jobs, and how can we apply for jobs, or are there other things we need to get along with it? Thank you.
Okay. So when you are coding HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, you will React. You agree with me that everything that you are doing is inside of your laptop, and your React application will be running on your local host 3000, right? But that is another part. But what we are talking about now is entirely different thing. And the roadmap to achieving this, the first step is this particular certification that we are talking about. What you are going to be interested in if you are following this roadmap is that a React developer has already coded his application and the application is fully coded. It's like on GitHub. So your responsibility now is to pick up that application and then make it live for other people to be able to access it. So you are seeing now that it's a whole different um part. Just like the designers will design the application, after designing, they will now give it to the developers. Then the developers will now start coding it. That is the same way after the developers have coded, they are going to put the application probably on GitHub, and then the people, the cloud guys are responsible for picking it up and bringing it on the cloud for everybody to access. We are going to be doing some live practical on those things as well. So if you are talking of jobs and all, there are a lot of opportunities on the cloud. lots of companies who have already hosted their applications to run on the cloud. They are always going to be having opportunities. And most times, one good thing about this kind of opportunities is that they are full time. Most developers or coders, they might have gigs that might take a contract of 6 to 7 weeks. But after, or 6 to 7 months, but after you have finished coding, you agree with me that once the application is live, there's nothing for you to keep coding again. But as a cloud guy, you are always going to be maintaining the applications to make sure that it is always live. So it's a whole different path. And the beginning of that roadmap is this particular certification that we are talking about that we're going to start very soon. Any other question? I don't know if I've answered your question, Ikechukwu.
Yeah, but something else I want to know. With this certificate, can we start applying for jobs, or this is just the start? There are others we need to get before we can start
Yes,
applying for
with this
jobs.
certificate, with this certificate, if you check LinkedIn, you will see jobs opening for this particular level of experience. But then
Oh,
again, this certificate it's a certificate that offers you opportunity to attain more certificates, to attain greater certificates. So you agree with me that a person who has two certifications stands a chance of winning a competition with you with just an ordinary beginner certificate. Like the person who
yeah.
has HND and ND, they are trying to sort of like, but you cannot just jump and get HND when you haven't done ND. So it's the same thing like that.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right. Um, Thank you very much, guys. I'm looking forward for us having other sections. I don't know if it's going to be virtual or it's going to be live, but in other way, I'll meet you guys then. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Derry.
Derry.
Thank you so much, Douglas. I think we don't want to overshoot the timing. It's 9 p.m. already. It's past 9 p.m. already. So I guess
Yes.
everyone is satisfied, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
subsequent sessions will be more like hands-on lab. So when will be okay? I think Derry has his hands up. Derry, you have the mic.
Yeah. I will be uploading the slides on Slack in case you want to go through on your own personal time to help guide you. Both this slide and then the first slide that I did, I'm going to be uploading them on the Slack channel. So for those of you who are not there yet, you have to join the Slack channel to grab them. Thanks.
Sorry, sir, I'm having issues joining that Slack channel. Is
Me
there any?
too.
I'm having issues. Is
Are
there any
you
easy way? I don't know what. Yeah, it is taking me to. They carry me. They go where I don't know.
are you serious? Okay. Let me share a direct link. You can just click and can join. Give me a minute,
Okay,
please.
thank you.
Okay, so is the class done? Or okay, okay, I can see a link here.
So um I just shared the link in the chat session. So if you're having issues joining the Slack channel, please use the link to join the Slack channel.
I think this link is redirecting me to open a Slack account.
Okay. Do you have a Slack account already?
Yes, I do.
Hold on.
All right, let me try to log in.
Yeah, just
If
log
you
in.
have a Slack account, you just need to change the workspace.
So if you're experiencing any blockers, please kindly indicate so you know what to do. Because I'm actually testing the link out here, and I think I'm making progress. So if you already have a Slack account, all you need to do is log in. Yeah. So are you making progress, Ipen?
Yeah. They sent me something to. They sent me codes. They said, okay, okay, all right. I think so. Let me try the link again.
Okay, I think I
Okay,
can
all
see
right,
you.
yeah.
You're in.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
So anyone else having
So you
issues?
said they will send the slides, right? To
Yeah, yeah.
the.
The slides will be dropped in the channel.
All right,
Yeah, thank you. So anyone else
thank you.
having issues with Slack, joining the Slack channel? I think everybody's left. So we can call it a wrap, okay? So good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Yeah, see
Yeah,
you
good
guys
night.
soon.
Good night.
Hey, good night.